guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I am so excited. We are talking Sex in the City, Season 2, Episode 1, Take Me Out to the Ballgame. You guys, I've been going through the original Sex in the City series and it is so much fun. We're having a blast over on Patreon. So I thought, you know what, since we're moving to Season 2, one of my all-time favorite seasons, Steve joins, Big is off and on, that Bradley Cooper episode is on, the They Shoot Single People, the Susan Sharon episode, so much good stuff happens in Season 2. I thought I would throw this one at you for free on the main channel and let you get a taste of it so that way you can see what the heck we're doing over on Patreon. This is one of the, actually any tier on Patreon, you get these episodes included. So if you are on Patreon hearing this, don't worry, I'm giving you guys an extra episode this week since I'm giving this one out for free. But thank you guys who have been supporting me. I appreciate that so much. And if you are new to signing up, I appreciate you so much. I really do. Let's get into this episode and talk about what happens. Okay, so this is Season 2, Episode 1, Take Me Out to the Ballgame. I always loved this episode so much. Now, if you remember at the end of Season 1, Big was going to take Carrie to the Caribbean, I believe, no, St. Bart's. And, yeah, she had to go and mess that up. And I say that because, well, normally he does mess things up. But in this case, I think it was all her. Do you remember that at O Come All Ye Faithful, she had to go invite herself to church and spy on him? He got frustrated. He couldn't, say the right words to her, so she broke it off before they could even go to St. Bart's. So this is where we pick up. They've broken up. I believe a month has passed since then, and the girls are trying to get her out of the house and help her get over this. So she talks about the odds of running into your ex, the guy who broke your heart, and how high they are, especially when you look like shit. So she keeps thinking she's seeing Big on the street. Of course, she didn't actually see him. She's just kind of imagining it. So back at her apartment, she is working on this article about the breakup rules, but her friends come over and surprise her. Miranda and Charlotte are there. It's a surprise. We're taking you out. They won't tell her where she's going. And she wants to make sure it's nowhere she can run into Big. She gets all dressed up, and they keep telling her, you're way overdressed. And she said, I don't care. I'd rather look fabulous if I run into him. They jump in a cab, they go get Sam, and this is a different side of Sam that we're seeing. So remember, last episode, she started dating James. To quote her, she said, me, James, and his tiny penis. So this was the second episode we're seeing James in. He says, how are the most beautiful women in Manhattan? And Miranda famously says, if I see them, I'll ask them. So he says, don't let anything bad happen to my princess. They're saying I love you. So it's just kind of shocking for Samantha. We haven't seen that with a character yet. But 40 minutes later, the girls find themselves at Yankee Stadium. Miranda's a huge fan of the Yankees. And they thought it was a good place to take Carrie where she can drink and smoke and watch the game and try to take her mind off things. So let's take a minute and discuss fashions. I hate this look on Miranda. I understand that it's dated. Blah, blah, blah. I hate it. I hate the glasses, the white. I hate the color of her hair. I understand red hair can be beautiful. This is not what this is. This is like orange. I don't like the cut of this one. It's too spiky. It's a little too severe. We see it later in the cafe. I am not a fan of this look at all. I gotta say, I actually really like the color of Charlotte's coat. It's almost a plum, I guess, but I like it. I think it suits her dark hair. I think she looks really pretty. I like her sunglasses. Carrie even looks good here. Sometimes she's a little over the top, but I like her. I get where she's going. Again, drunk in the afternoon at a baseball game. I think she looks good. Samantha, same thing. I think she looks fantastic. I like her hair swept back like this. I like the sunglasses. The coat is very Samantha with the faint leopard print going on. I think she looks fabulous. Samantha has a fabulous line here where she says, these seats suck. This hot dog sucks. My life sucks. And I laugh and say that because so many of you had the funniest comments basically saying that absolutely applies to And Just Like That. So there's a new hot Yankee playing in this game. I don't know shit about baseball, so I'm not even going to pretend like I do. But somehow he ends up hitting the ball to wherever nosebleed section they're at. Carrie is able to grab it and thus starts her in to talk to the new Yankee. She flashes her press pass, and there they are, waiting outside the locker room. Of course, Samantha is all about this. She is very excited to get her eyes on some eye candy. Miranda's excited because she's a huge Yankees fan, and the possibility of meeting these guys is great for her. I don't know, Charlotte's just there. And Carrie is completely wasted, and I kind of like drunk Carrie. I thought she was pretty funny in this part. So she says her relationship stats are 1 serious relationship, 5 breakups. I also really like the Gucci purse here that Carrie's carrying. Again, I'm not always a fan of her style. I think this purse is beautiful. It's hilarious that she brings it to a baseball game, but it's gorgeous. Okay, so we get to meet the new Yankee. So he is credited as Yankee Joe. He's played by an actor named Mark Devine. He played Daniel Hawkins in Judging Amy, and he played Chandler Swanson in 6 Feet Under. Very good looking. Miranda's over the top. She's talking about being a huge Yankee friend. My friend caught your ball. I'm a lawyer. And he says, what, you'll sue me if I don't sign it? So Carrie ends up getting a chance to talk to him, ask him to sign it, and they kind of have a little flirtation going on. He asks if she's a Yankee fan too, and she says, nope, I come here for the beer. I find baseball a little dull. Gotta say, asshole Carrie moment, because really, would you say that? I mean, I get that she's trying to be flirty, but wow. So he says, oh yeah, what do you do? And she says, I write a column. And they chime in, a sex column. Nothing dull about that. So she ends up chasing him down the hall because of her liquid courage, and she says, I'm going to ask him to the Dolce & Gabbana party. She's calling him Yankee, Yankee. Miranda is completely shocked by this and literally says, no, it's not fair. No one rebounds with the new Yankee. Well, Carrie does it. She runs up, she asks him, he agrees. Samantha is standing outside this locker room. Now remember, the problem with James is she loves him, but he's teeny tiny. So she's having trouble. She's ogling these guys in the locker room. And she says, no harm in just looking. And this one guy says, can I help you with something? So Carrie is writing about breakup rules. So she's doing her thing, and they do, those talking heads. They were still doing this a little bit in season 2. I believe this is where it stops soon after this. But just interviewing people about their rules about, breaking up, like how long it takes to get over somebody, that sort of thing. The new Yankee was 10 minutes late. She accidentally finds a picture of her in Big. She says it's important that you destroy all pics where he looks sexy and you look happy. So they're at the party, and Charlotte is there. She just started dating this guy named Paul Erickson, and he is played by Robert Bogue. I think you say his last name, but he's from Chicago Fire, which of course we know Steve came from, or he was also on Chicago Fire. Okay, so he's handsome, smart, and eclectic, but he keeps grabbing his junk. When watching back this episode, I couldn't remember exactly what it was about this guy. I was thinking he was scratching, but nope, he just keeps touching his balls. So it's just a problem. Charlotte has to grab his hand to get him to stop. Meanwhile, Carrie thinks she keeps seeing Big. There's the ball thing. She keeps seeing Big everywhere in the crowd, but then they flash, it's not Big. She says she had to max her credit card to buy this dress to look fabulous in case she ran into Big. So again, typical Carrie, she's completely obsessing, everything we've seen her do a million times, she's the one that, she basically ended it with him, but now she's obsessing about it, and, it's just classic Carrie, right? So let's talk fashion here. I like the color of Carrie's dress. I like the style, the fit, she looks good. Her hair's a little flat on top. I don't love that when it's split down the middle. I like her classic curls, but especially when they're a little poofier. That's just me. Okay, so after the party, she goes with her hot Yankee. They're walking and they end up kissing. 4 weeks out of the relationship, new Yankee got to first base. So they have a Saturday ritual where they all meet up at this cafe and have eggs. So they're looking at page 6 and Carrie is in it with the new hot Yankee. Now, if you want to know a continuity error, this is pretty funny. See this paper right here. If you watch this scene back, sometimes it's perfectly folded like this, like it needs to be to present to the camera. Other times it's a big pile of mess because they keep having to hand it back and forth. So if you watch the scene, it's actually pretty funny to watch. It switches back and forth. Okay, here's where I want your thoughts on this, because here's my thoughts. I think Miranda's kind of being a dick here. I do. I understand where she's going with this. Her point is, how come 4 smart women have nothing else to talk about but men? But I'm sorry that when you're with your girlfriends, it's what you do. You talk about your relationships. You kind of talk things out. It's kind of cathartic, right? It's normal that you would check in with your lives, and if something's going on in their life, whether it be, especially relationship-wise, you're going to talk about it. That's what they're there for. It makes you feel good, right? You can work this stuff out with them. It's just kind of what you do. So I think Miranda's kind of being a dick here, where she just kind of gets up, storms off, pays the check, and is mad because, well, even Charlotte is trying to talk about her boyfriend's balls, yummy over breakfast, but who else can you talk to about this stuff, right? Like, Google wasn't a thing then, right? Or maybe it was, but not a big thing. And so you talk to your girlfriends about it. You'd be like, hey, does your guy ever do this? Have you ever seen this before? Whatever it is, you talk about with your girlfriend. So I just think that Miranda was kind of being a dick here, and she overreacted. And I know she admits that later. P.S. Again, I hate this hair so much on her. I think it's too orange. It's too choppy. It does her no favors. I hate everything about this. I really do. So again, this is where we see Miranda just storm off because she can't handle talking about this stuff anymore. She was trying to talk to him about her Palm Pilot, which is hilarious to watch back, but it's not going very well. Okay, then we flash to Samantha. She is trying to tackle this problem, right? She's trying to be a good coach. Since we're using sports analogies, we'll go with that. She's trying to be a good coach and to lead James the right way to get her there, because he's teeny tiny and he can't get her there, and so she's struggling. She's trying to make it work. She even brings in a pinch hitter, her little battery operated friend, but he is not having that at all and says, hey, maybe it'd be more fun if it was just us. Not a problem, is it? Yeah, that face says it all. Meanwhile, Charlotte gets this new guy a present. She said she was at Barney's today, and well, here you go. It's supposed to be the miracle bra. That's what she says, the miracle bra for guys. And it's a briefs versus boxer situation, and it's supposed to offer good support. Well, he totally misreads the situation. All Charlotte would have to do is kind of explain it to him, but she won't. She won't have that conversation. So he thinks that she's just like taking over his life and trying to take over. He gets spooked. They don't see each other anymore. You guys, I don't mean to pile on Miranda. I really don't. I talk about this in my episode where I talk about the worst outfits. This has got to be one of her all-time worst outfits. She likes to go for these long walks. I literally wrote in my notes, stupid outfit. She's wearing overalls with this jacket and this hat, and the haircut's so bad, and it's tough. It's tough to look at. So she's walking around and she runs into Eric, former love of her life that she now refers to as a-hole, and he's walking hand in hand with the woman he left her for. Meanwhile, the new Yankee takes Carrie out to a bar. He's teaching her dugout pastimes. They're throwing peanuts in the air. She's trying to catch him. They're being playful and flirty. She turns around, and who does she see? Dun, dun, dun. It's Big. So that's when he appears. He makes his way over, and to avoid saying the name Big or John Preston, like his real name, they just kind of stumble over the introductions, and he says, oh, I know who you are, and I'm a big fan, that kind of thing. He then leans in and tells Carrie, I saw your picture in the paper. You never look better. Just enough to just totally F with her, right? And of course it's going to F with her. So you know how I was saying Carrie was kind of the reason for the breakup this last time? He knows what he's doing. He's totally jerking her around. So she goes to leave with the Yankee. He's talking about his friends being at another bar in Bleecker. She's clearly upset. He's trying to kiss her. She's pulling away. To me, it's one of the worst lines where she says, I cried in your mouth. I don't know why that grosses me out so bad. But it does. It really grosses me out. I wish she wouldn't say that, but I guess she did cry in his mouth. But she begs him, just go. I've got to go. She just doesn't want him to see her crying like that. So that's the end of the hot Yankee. I guess that ends that because she's just not ready to move on. She says she wasn't ready to go home either, so she went to a payphone. She makes a call. You think she's going to say, she's talking to Big, saying, please meet at our place. Meet me in 15 minutes. I really need to talk to you. But it's Miranda. Miranda's there, and she has to explain, listen, I saw Big. I completely fell apart. I know you don't want to talk about this stuff. And Miranda says, listen, I've been a jerk. I saw Eric on the street today, and I hid. And it reminded me how hard all of this stuff is. So I'm glad that Miranda had this moment. It kind of redeems her behavior earlier. I'm glad that they were there for each other and that it was Miranda she met in the cafe and not Big immediately, because that's more of a Carrie move to blow off her friends and immediately meet up with Big. But I'm glad that Miranda was able to admit that she was a jerk. And that's how the episode ends. Fabulous episode, fabulous season. I can't wait to go through this one. So much big stuff happens this season. I'm excited for Steve to join. I'm just excited for the off and on of Big. I always enjoyed that. And the whole series, it's so good. I'm so excited to go back through these with you. If you enjoyed this, do consider checking out Patreon. $5 a month is the base tier. That gets you access to all these episodes. And all my future, you'll be able to listen to these Sex and the City episodes I'm going through. The next tier, you get Carrie Diaries plus some Always Sunny. And the top tier, you get to pick what we're watching. So much good stuff going on over there. I hope you enjoyed this free episode. I hope you have a fantastic day. Leave me comments, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. All that stuff helps me out. It really does. I hope you stay healthy and safe, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.